which is like easily maybe the biggest news of the year. The fact that Microsoft has purchased Bethesda and Zenimax, really the parent company, for $7.5 billion. There are some details.
7.5. I thought it was 4.5.
No.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, not that $1 billion is a small amount.
Right.
I mean, I'm honestly still surprised that they got him for that amount. That's a big fucking get.
Yeah. It's huge. And the dollar, is definitely matching their value for sure. Cause that's a huge thing to pay for. But you get all these different studios.
That's the thing though, is like, are you really getting those studios or were you just those publishers? Like what? I really don't understand the legalities of this.
So same once they announced that, then there were some more details that came out. So some of the stuff is in here as far as like the actual details on what this deal makes. But so this is from VentureBeat. Jeff Grubb has the article. Pre-orders for the Xbox Series X and S begin tomorrow, and Microsoft just gave fans a reason to feel good about showing up to the next gen party. Xbox is acquiring Bethesda Softworks and its parent company Zenimax Media. Bethesda is a publisher responsible for Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom. So as part of the deal, Microsoft is paying $7.5 billion in cash for ZeniMax Media, which I don't even know what $7.5 billion cash would look like, but yeah.
It's best not to think about it.
So that fee will get Microsoft all Bethesda's properties, as well as 8 studios with 2,300 employees. Those teams include Bethesda, id Software, ZeniMax Online, Arcane, on and on. So with publishing, we talked about that. Bethesda's SVP of PR marketing, Pete Hines, Hines states as part of an interview, Hines states in part, but the key point is we're still Bethesda. We're still working on the same games we were yesterday, made by the same studios we've worked with for years, and those games will be published by us.
With slightly better, product testing, maybe? Maybe
That's
some quality control?
I'm hoping.
Nope.
That's one hopeful benefit is they can lean on Microsoft to QA, to do stuff like that they're a huge company, but they've had issues with a bunch of recent games.
I mean, I'm just saying if Microsoft's willing to push back Halo for quality.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything getting pushed at.
You're going to walk into Bethesda and say, look, fuckers, change this goddamn engine for the love of God.
You know what? They did announce a little tidbit on this whole thing when this news came out. They're working on this new and improved engine for Starfield. I want to say what the next one's called. What it looks like when it comes out, yeah, it's still in question, but they are working on a new engine.
Now, by improved engine, do you mean you've changed the base? Because you haven't changed the base since the beginning, right. And this is why we keep having problems.
Right.
So unless you change out the innards, I don't give a fuck what the outside looks like.
Yeah, you're right. They need a whole renaissance there, but I imagine they realize that.
I mean, again, like you look at the fucking Outer Worlds, they picked up a goddamn industry standard engine.
Yeah, was it UE4 or something?
It was UE4, and we were playing like essentially a Fallout game where it wasn't crashing and full of bugs. Like I'm like, I don't know how to experience this kind of game with it not being constantly broken.
Yeah. I guess to their credit, or the other side of the argument is it's not fully open world like Fallout. It is still semi-open world, quasi-open.
It could have been, though.
It could have been. You'd think that it comes down to just like optimizing it and getting the right minds in there. But yeah, they were able to make it work. So yeah. So we're talking about publishing. So with Game Pass, that's another big question mark. So with the addition of Bethesda,
they in there like skid marks.
Yes. With the addition of Bethesda, Microsoft will grow from 15 to 23 creative studio teams. Will be adding Bethesda's iconic franchises to Xbox Game Pass. Microsoft said in a statement or an announcement, this includes Microsoft's intent to bring Bethesda's future games into Xbox Game Pass the same day they launch on Xbox or PC, like Starfield, the highly anticipated new space epic currently in development by Bethesda Game Studios. That was one big question is, are we going to get these same caliber of games? Because it's now first party, and all of that's been Xbox's commitment is all their first party is day one on Game Pass. So does that mean still juggernauts like Starfield eventually?
Yes.
The next Fallout?
That's what it means.
That's nuts. And I mean, that's a huge get for them if they go that route, which they easily could. I think that's still in their mantra to do that.
Yeah. I have a theory. Again, I keep coming back to the xCloud. And I've been saying this with Starfield because they were saying Bethesda has had plans to make Starfield for years and years and years and years and years, for like ever. And they said they would never make it until the technology was there to make this game. I've been saying that Stadia, or like they finally announced it when they said when cloud technology was around. So I think they need the cloud to run this game. And I think they're going to use xCloud for Stadia, or not Stadia, Starfield. I think this game needs either some serious cloud backend, or it needs to straight up run in the cloud from the get-go and render out to someone's PC.
No, that's definitely possible. I guess my devil's advocate to that would be you can do that, but then you can't go cross-platform. And maybe that's not their intention
Well,
now
you
that
can
they're
go
with Xbox. But
cross-platform between PC, Xbox, and phone.
yeah, and Stadia, I guess you could throw them in the mix too. But like PlayStation doesn't have anything like that that's comparable set up, so they'd be locked out.
That's too bad.
Right.
It would suck if Microsoft had that.
And they do. But that's
one.
one of the questions people have is that are they going to play ball with PlayStation, allowing certain games to release there when they own this property? They haven't really done that this gen, like say Minecraft. They own that Mojang, but Minecraft's everywhere still. So they still allow these games.
They
to
making
go.
money literally fucking everywhere.
That's the thing. So I guess with Starfield, the only thing that comes up to mind why they wouldn't go that route is also they'd have to be planning that dev wise. They'd have to like throw it all in the garbage.
Man, if you get the xCloud on Sony PlayStation,
That'd be nuts. They would like fucking light themselves on fire before doing that.
Just
Just because they don't like to
But
play
what
ball.
if Nintendo did it first and they're like, fuck?
That'd be nuts. But yeah, so Game Pass, they have still the commitment to have these games come out day one with Game Pass. They also announced some stats on Game Pass. Subscriptions have jumped 50% in the last 6 months. There are now 15 million subscribers
I believe it.
on Game Pass, which is insane.
I finally jumped on that shit, and you know I'm.
Yeah, you're a haterade drinker, a guzzler, so yeah, you finally jumped on. And
It's a fact,
right?
It's
No,
objective.
that's your life. We're talking about games coming to or being exclusive now with Xbox as far as like the Bethesda deal.
Which, by the way, just real quick on that, Deathloop, didn't know until today that was a PlayStation exclusive. I'm still trying to figure out if it's coming to PC. For the love of God, bring it to PC.
It might come to PC before it comes to other consoles. Well, that was one thing they announced at that conference.
It's a
the
timed
PS5 one.
exclusive.
Yeah, it's timed. So I think it's just a year or whatever they do. But yeah, they announced it at that conference. So that's fresh. The fact that it was aligned with PlayStation. But that throws everything out of whack. Now they have this deal with Bethesda. Although that's one of the things here. They're going to honor any contracts they had prior.
Right.
So Deathloop is still a timed exclusive with PlayStation. There's another one, a Ghost Wire Tokyo, still
Which
timed.
also looks dope.
Yep.
I didn't know that was Bethesda.
Yeah, it's like one of their other Zatango. It's one of their other
That
studios.
was the first person game where you're like just whooping ass on
and there's like
ghosts.
magic and
that
Tokyo
looked
stuff.
Fun.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that one looks really rad. But yeah, so that's what we're talking about now. It's
to me on PC.
I think, yeah, I mean, if Microsoft owns it, I think they will because that's their whole mantra now is Xbox, PC, those things, and everything else too.
I don't want to play Deathloop on a console.
Well, I mean, next gen stuff is gonna look dope, but
Still on a mouse and keyboard.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think now you can plug those in. I feel like they have like native support. I know PlayStation does, so you can plug in whatever you want to there, and it works. But yeah, this is just another confirmation from Jason Schreier that the fact that whatever contracts they had prior, Bethesda is going to honor those by having their timed exclusivity with Deathloop and Ghostwire, but everything else. So they said future Bethesda games will be on PC and Xbox and other consoles on a case-by-case basis. So what everyone's wondering is, okay, is the next Fallout going to be exclusive? Are they going to go multi-platform still? What's the deal?
Can you imagine?
That'd be nuts. Really, the ball's in Xbox's court, so they can decide what they want to do.
They can. Oh man, if they just like, I mean, that's what do you think would be a bigger deal? I think Skyrim, or not Skyrim, but Elder Scrolls. If they said this was
100%.
oh fuck
Yeah, 100%. If they did that, people would just be insanely angry. But that's kind of, I want Xbox to make those moves more because they haven't this last gen.
fucking make it.
Yeah.
Can you pick like there's a lot of franchises I've skipped.
Yep.
But
yeah, they need to kind of give people a reason more to own an Xbox, and they've been more consumer friendly by having everything released everywhere. You can play on your phone, you can do all this, but Sony's been getting these players on their side because they have these exclusive juggernauts that you want to play. And I want to see Xbox do that more just to kind of even things out a little bit.
But still think of the fucking glory that would be like you're done, like you got to go to work. Like the amount of times I've been riding a train for 45 minutes on the way to work in Chicago. And if I could just go from playing Elder Scrolls on my PC to jump on my phone and just playing that on the train.
Use up all your data in 1 second.
Yep. All of it.
But at least
my data plan is fucking terrible. It'd be gone instantly. But oh, can you just imagine popping back and forth
that's the
between
future.
the two into your Starfields, which will never release?
Although that's that's the interesting point that Xbox has, or the league that they're in. They can do that. They have the actual infrastructure to let you jump around and play
Yeah.
on these different devices, and no one else really has an answer. That Stadia doesn't, because it still
Nope.
has all its issues, and they don't have a box you can play on still. So it's like with Xbox, you can in theory jump around.